Hello and welcome to Cal's Corner. I'm Cal, a gunner who likes talking about Arsenal and football in general. And today I just wanted to talk about Martinelli links to Bayern Munich because Bayern is looking at left wing options and Martinelli seems to be one of them. And Arsenal are willing to let him go for the right price. If you want to support this channel, support this content, please like the video. And if you want to see more, please subscribe. Anyway, this is the link to Bayern Munich isn't surprising as earlier in the window, there were sources that were saying, well, not even early in the window, even before that, they were saying that Arsenal were willing to let go of one of our main players in order to fund our summer transfer window. And the fans have been speculating that that player could be Martinelli. Now, why this isn't surprising is because the left wing is something that Arsenal has been looking at for a long time now, all the way back when we were looking at Mykhailo Mudryk a couple summers ago. So that's not very surprising that Arteta, I feel like he has been searching and searching and searching for that left wing option. It was Nico Williams last summer. That seems to be not really going anyway because of his links to Barcelona. So, and we've been linked to Rodrigo this summer as well. So the left wing is something that we've always been looking at, and Martinelli kind of has been on the chopping block. Now, Bayern Munich going in for him is something, while I say it's not surprising that Bayern Munich is linked to him, what I mean by that is I'm actually surprised that Bayern themselves are linked to him, but I'm not surprised that he's being linked with an exit. And this has created a bit of a discourse among, Arsenal fans, but first let me give my opinion. I don't think Martinelli is good enough to be a starting winger for Arsenal Football Club. I do think he could be a bench player, but the fact that all the fans, Mikel Arteta, everyone at the club agrees that the left wing is one of our top priorities this summer transfer window. And it's not surprising because we just have not been creative or dynamic in that left wing position. Now, the discourse that we've been having is that both Leandro Trossard and Martinelli are not good enough to be starting wingers for Arsenal Football Club. And we have been trying to negotiate to get Leandro Trossard a contract extension. And now hearing the news that Martinelli is the one that might be going, is creating a bit of a discourse among the fans and most people. Well, I'm not sure if most people, because it's very hard to judge what the split is, but a lot of people, a large portion of fans believe that we should be getting rid of Trossard and keeping Martinelli. Now, I am not a fan of a lot of the things that Arsenal Football Club has done in the past, but I support this decision. I support this direction because from a financial standpoint and from a logistical standpoint, it just makes the most sense for Martinelli to be the one to be on the chopping block. Now, why do I say this? Trossard has been the super sub for Arsenal. He has done his best work coming off the bench and he impacts games. He's scored big goals and he's quite tricky. The problem with Trossard is that whenever he gets a run of games in the starting position, he kind of gets exposed, or I don't know what it is, but he just does not look good starting week in, week out. So for the past, I want to say 2 seasons, we've been doing this kind of thing where Trossard looks really, really good, better than Martinelli off the bench, but as soon as you try to start Trossard, he doesn't look as good as Martinelli when Martinelli's starting. Whereas Martinelli has been more consistent than Trossard, but he has been mediocre and his game hasn't really leveled up. So, in order to fund our big transfer window, I think getting rid of Martinelli is the right choice. He is the guy that probably has the most value in the club in terms of the ones that we are willing to sell. and Trossard pretty much has no resale value. We're not going to be getting much for Leandro Trossard. And I think Trossard is more effective off the bench than Martinelli. And we've been saying that next season is a do or die for Arsenal. It's a must win. So I think if we get a good starting left winger, whoever that might be, I think it should be Rodrigo. I'm pretty set on that. I think Nico Williams would have been a good option. I think Barcola could have been a decent option, but um, PSG aren't willing to sell Barcola, and you know Nico Williams is he's pretty strongly linked with Barcelona, and he's willing to take wage cuts for Barcelona. So I think that's completely off the table. I also like Eze, to be honest. I would love if we signed Eze. I'm not sure of how good Morgan Mirages is off the left, but I think he's also a big player. There are a couple of big options that we can get that I think are better than Martinelli. Now, a lot of fans are extremely upset about getting rid of Martinelli, saying that we're ungrateful, we should keep him. But I am kind of personally, I'm sick of that narrative. I think this club, this team needs a shift. We need a big shift, and I'm sorry, it's not going to be Kai Havertz. As much as a lot of fans want him gone, he's not going anywhere. And Odegaard is the captain, and even though he's had a bad season last season, there's no way on God's green earth that the club's going to get rid of Odegaard at the back. Get rid of Odegaard at the back of one bad season. And we weren't going to get rid of Saka. We weren't going to get rid of Gabriel, Saliba. We're not, or Declan Rice. We're not getting rid of those guys. And Martinelli has been underperforming for 2 seasons in a row, and I think it's time for us to move on. And this club, this team needs a shake-up. We cannot run the same formation, the same players, and expect us to win. It's not going to happen. The striking option is not the only thing that's wrong with the football club. We need a shake-up in the midfield. Hopefully, Zubamendi is going to be that shake-up in the midfield. We need a serious shake-up up front. We need a striker. We need a left winger. And sacrifices must be made. And if we want to bring in the big players, some people are going to have to go. We're not going to spend like Man City. We're just not that club, unfortunately. I think the move just makes sense. And I think a lot of the times we just take too long to get rid of players. It's 2 seasons on a bounce that Martinelli just has not been good enough, and for some Arsenal fans, they will wait for 3 seasons, 4 seasons at the bounce before they get rid of him. And that's just, let's sell him while he has high value. Selling Martinelli is a risk, but we're not going to win the title if we don't take risks. And just because your favorite player isn't getting, just because Martinelli is your favorite player, or he might be, or someone that you don't like isn't getting moved on, doesn't mean that it's not the right decision. If the club was selling someone like, say, Saka or Declan Rice, I think that'd be insane, because they are the pillar, the crux of the team. But we all knew our left wing options was a problem, and this is the right choice. Anyway, that's just my thoughts, at least. I know a lot of people are going to be pissed off with that, but that's just how I feel about the situation. I think there are very few players on the team I wouldn't upgrade on, because if there are better options available, I think we should fund those better options no matter what the position is. I love Arsenal more than I love any other player, more than any individual player of the club. I mean, my favorite player in world football right now is Bukayo Saka. He is my favorite player. He is my number one player that I like the most. Do I think he's the most skilled player on the planet? No, but he is my favorite, and I do think he's world class. But given the opportunity to upgrade on Bukayo Saka, I would sell him if it meant that Arsenal as a football club got better. And I think that's the approach we should all be taking when we hear news like Martinelli's leaving the club. That's just how I feel about this situation. Anyway, if you like the video, please like. If you want to give some feedback, please comment. And if you want to see more, please subscribe. I'll see you next time.